Akshins. We all are Akshins, right? Yes. So good morning Akshins. Welcome you all back to our social class. So we are dealing with the rise of nationalism in Europe. You all remember? Yes. So we are dealing with the rise of nationalism in Europe. That is, we have seen so many content, that unification of Italy, unification of Germany, and we are also going to see about the strange case of Britain. You know, even Britain was not a nation which was united before. It was also having so much of struggle in that. So we feel that now Britain is really a great Britain, but initially when the beginning stage of Britain was there, it was also really suffering and struggling a lot to make itself as a nation state. So come, we'll see how this Britain has made itself a great Britain. Okay, so yes. So before getting into the content, I want you to take your history book and have the history book in your hand, so that it will be very easy, because we have a lot of maps in that. So you can even view that. Okay, so we are going to see about the strange case of Britain. So the strange case of Britain is that how it is strange. Even then, they did not form the nation state before. They even trying to build up their own nation state. So if you see, Britain, the formation of the nation state was formed later only, and they did not start up or upheal. Upheal means starting their own movement, upheaving the revolution. They did not result. So as soon as when the result has come from France, when it is declared independent, the Britain did not start its own struggle. Their struggle was a long process and a slow process which was also going on. And here you can find that primarily the identity of the Britain people was being different. Like they were being called as the British Isles. They are called as the British Isles. Okay, so they have their own ethnic means their own culture and tradition. So they had their own ethnics and their own groups of culture. Okay, so here you can find that they had English, Welsh, Scot or Irish. So this is how they were being divided. So they were region wise, they were divided. All the regions, England, English, Scot or Irish or Welsh, all of them had their own culture and their own tradition and political institution, which were being separate for each and everyone. They were not united at that time. And you can find that, but English nation was being steady in its growing. Steady means it had a strong progress in growing up of its own wealth, which has imposed them to get lot of power and extend their influence over all other nearby islands. So they had a very stable and increasing power. Stable means every time when they grow, they are very careful about their growth. They are not worried about, like, if some growth happens, there is a possibility for them to fall down also. So they are having a very careful steps when they move. So what happens is that their power is also increased and wealth is also increased. So because of this, you can find that they got lot of influence. Influence means they had control over the islands which is located nearby them also. And the England Parliament, that is the England Parliament, that is we have Parliament in India similar to that. England also had a Parliament. So this English Parliament has decided to seize the power of the monarchs. So monarchs means the kings. So they have decided to seize the power. Seize means stop. Okay, definitely it means stop. So we are supposed to stop the power of the monarchies in the year of 1688. So they tried to stop the power of the king, and it has put an end to the protocols which has been followed by the monarchical form of government, and it also stopped the conflict that was also arising because of them. Okay? And this instrument which lead to the formation of the nation state in England, and they have totally forgotten the central part, that is the England, which is existing itself. Okay, so that was left alone, and because of the Act of Union Act of Union is an act which is passed in the year of 1707. Okay, so this was an act which has been passed by the English Parliament in order to include the Scotland along with them. The Britain government forcefully made the Scotland to get annexed with the English Parliament. Okay, so that was being done. So what happens is that as a result of this formation, the United Kingdom of Great Britain was named, and in that effect you can find that England was able to become still more powerful with the influence of the Scotland with it. Okay, and the next thing you can see here is that the Britain Parliament also had a domination over the English members. So in those parliament we had the influence of the Englishmen who were being highly in support. Then the growing British power was there, no? So this power was still more making the Scotland to suffer a lot. Their culture was being lost. Their political institution was made as a systematically aspect along with the England. The whatever administration they had was being suppressed by them. And the Catholics, you might have heard about the Catholics and Protestants. It is actually in the Christianity, those who follow the Christianism in a proper manner are called as Catholics. Protestants means who doesn't follow it, means not fully not following. They have a belief in God, but they don't have belief in the blind beliefs, like whatever the Pope says they have to follow. It is not like that. So they are against the beliefs of the Christianity. So they had as two groups which was prevailing in that is Catholics and the Protestants. So this Catholics and Protestants were also surviving in the English Parliament was also having this. And you can see that the Scottish Highland was being forbidden ones, treated very bad because they had a different language, different kind of cultural practices which were being there among them. So what they did is that the common people of the Highland moved out of their houses and they started revolting against the suppressful aspect that was being done by the English Parliament towards them. Okay, so what they did is that they entered out of their houses, they came out of the houses, they were standing there, they were being raising slogans, raising different kinds of flags which were being raised against them, but even though you can find that they were being forcefully suppressed. So that is how the Scotland was Parliament. And then you can find that the Ireland, as I told you already, Christianity was in two types, Catholics and Protestants. So in Ireland, what happened is that the Englishmen were been supporting the Catholics. Okay, so they were been supporting the Catholics countries. English had started helping the Protestants. So what happens is that this had established and Ireland, what happens is that the people were being given importance for the Protestants and the Catholics were not given much of importance. So the Catholics were being very less in number. So they started protesting against the Englishmen who were been supporting the Protestants. So this was an revolt which was against the Englishmen, and because of utilizing the problem that was existing between the Catholics and the Protestants, the English was able to capture or bring the Irish under their control. So this was an important tool which was being used by the British, that is particularly English Parliament, to annex Ireland with them. So that is how the Ireland was also united with the Great Britain. So you can find that this is how the Great Britain has been entered into a form of an United Kingdom of Great Britain. So that is what is about today's class, students. Remaining we'll see in the next class. So enjoy your class and enjoy your days. Okay, bye.